this is the week we celebrate Thanksgiving. Take time off, we cook a lot, we eat a lot, have family in and friends, and we have a good time. And even in that, sometimes we even are thankful. The psalmist said in Psalm 100, "Make a joyful noise unto the Lord, all ye lands. Serve the Lord with gladness. Come before his presence with singing. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. It is he that hath made us, and not we ourselves. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, and to his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him, and bless his name." The Bible teaches us that we need to praise. The Bible teaches us how to praise. It's interesting when we look back in the history of our country where the celebration of Thanksgiving originated. The Pilgrims uprooted themselves and sailed for America on the Mayflower, looking for religious freedom, for a new way of life, for their families, for a better life. They endured a lot. It's amazing that we have Thanksgiving with all they endured. First, they headed for Virginia, where there was already an established settlement. But they were blown off course. They landed in Plymouth, Massachusetts, just in time for winter to set in. And then terrible storms came. Sickness ravaged the people. Many, many died. Governor William Bradford described the first winter as that which was most sad and lamentable was that in 2 or 3 months' time, half the company had died. He went on to describe that sometimes 2 or even 3 people a day were dying. Shelter from the harsh winter was lacking, as the Pilgrims spent their time digging 7 times as many graves as they built houses for the living. When the ship arrived that was supposed to bring food and provision for their relief, they just found there were 35 more people that joined them and had not 1 ounce of provision. The tradition of Thanksgiving originated from these people. In 1621, a few years later, Edward Wenslaw, one of the 50 or so members of the Plymouth colony, wrote these words describing their first Thanksgiving. "Our harvest of corn came in well, and God be praised. We had a good increase of Indian corn, and our barley crop was also good. And although our harvests are not always so plentiful as it was at this time with us, yet by the goodness of God we are so far from want." Those early pilgrims took time to be thankful to God. Some modern history books in our schools are teaching that Thanksgiving was about thanking the Indians for helping them. And that was far from the case if you read the early documents. They were thankful to God for their being there for them. It was hard. It was a lot of harshness in the environment. The conditions were not good, and yet God helped them. And they were giving thanks to God. That's what it was about. They invited the Indians to join them in their Thanksgiving celebration, hoping to share Jesus with the Indians also. And some of the Indians accepted Jesus as their Savior too. The Pilgrims were thankful to God for what they had. There are some truths that we need to remember when we think of Thanksgiving. First of all people can be grateful. It's not something that's dependent on our circumstances. It may be harsh like the Pilgrims had, or it may be real easy. But gratefulness doesn't come from outside. Gratefulness comes from in our hearts. It's a choice of the heart to be grateful. There's no jealousy or envy. Paul spoke against these, and even James wrote, "For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder." Giving thanks comes from a heart of gratitude. Secondly, a second truth we need to remember, gratitude puts life in proper perspective. We need each other, and we need God. We like to think we can go it alone, but we need each other. Gratitude helps us remember that it's not all about us. Gratitude helps us think about others and their needs, not all about what we want. The original sin came when Adam and Eve thought only of themselves. They saw the fruit. They wanted the fruit. They took the fruit. They took what they wanted, and they ate it. That's a self-centered life. And that's not the life a Christian lives. That's not a heart of gratitude. We reflect God's view when we're grateful. And so it puts life in proper perspective. And then thirdly, gratitude encourages others. I've heard many stories of people who pay ahead, say at a fast food place, and in the drive-through line, they'll pay for the person behind them. And the person behind them talks about how it was such a surprise and it just lightened their day. And often they'll say they paid for the person behind them. It spreads. It goes on and on. Gratitude encourages others. When we're thankful, that encourages others to be thankful. Christians are about others, and so we do for others. And we're thankful to God that we can do for others. We can easily begin to think of ourselves and our problems and get consumed with what we're going through, our aches and pains, our bills that are due, the problems at work, problems with a friend, and that just overwhelms us. But when we have a heart of gratitude, we start thinking about the good things in life. And there's many good things in life as there are bad. We just have to choose which way we'll think. When we're grateful, we're looking beyond ourselves and we're looking at others. We're looking to God. When we do for others, we're encouraging them. And by encouraging them, we are encouraged. So we are grateful for many things, mostly the good things. But do we have a spirit of gratitude? That's what we need, a spirit of gratitude, not for 1 week or 1 day, but a spirit of gratitude that lasts all year long, encouraging others because we're thankful for all God's doing for us. We're thankful all along the way for what others do for us. Thankful to God. So are you thankful to God for all He's done for you? I know you might be going through a terrible time. A lot of reversals, a lot of hardships, a lot of expectations were different, and just life hadn't turned out the way you wanted it to. But God hasn't changed. We may have had a wrong perception of God, but God hasn't changed. He still loves you. He gave His life for you, and He reaches out to you, and He protects you and does for you and provides for you so many ways. Are you grateful to God? Do you have so much gratitude for God that it changes your life? Changes the relations you have with others? Your perception of your problems? Are you trusting in God? Are you worshiping, reading His Word? Jesus loved us so much that He was willing to let Jesus die for us. He died so that through Him we can have life eternally, not just now, but forever with Him. Let's be grateful that we can know God and we can know God's love for us. Let this be more than a week of Thanksgiving, but begin a year of Thanksgiving.
When upon life's billows you are tempest tossed, when you are discouraged thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord hath done. Count your blessings, name them one by one. Count your blessings, see what God hath done. Count your blessings, name them